Hey folks, it's Tom at FrugalPrepper. I just been busy. I haven't really had time to do a video this weekend, so I'm gonna go ahead and do one. But I just been organizing up my shed. I went through all these shelves and got everything all organized on the shelves. I threw away all the old burlap that had a bunch of holes in it. I got my generator out and I gave that a test run. I ran the shed off of it for 4 or 5 hours. I built all these for an upcoming project that I'm going to be doing a video on. I went to Mendelssohn's, or not Mendelssohn's, Menards. Mendelssohn's is another store we used to have. Menards, and I got some more fertilizer today, so I'm all stocked up on that again. That is 10 years worth of fertilizer for my garden in that little container. So that's all I need, you know, that, and I have Epsom salt here, and I have extra Epsom salt in this bucket here, and I have the nutrient packs, and that's all I need. I have enough lime and everything else. I got my R22 and 134 right there. I got my cooler all cleaned up. It's been sitting outside and it got kind of dirty and moldy, so I cleaned that up. And then I went ahead and just got a bag of ice here and brought it out to the freezer so that I can have some cold pops on ice when I'm out here working in the heat. I like Diet 7-Up, so I still have some, even though I'm mostly carnivore. My wheelbarrow's there, my 4-wheeler cart. I got some dirt there. I'm just letting that dry out a little bit because it came out of some old planters that I had sitting on the picnic table. Everything organized and put under the bench. Everything's organized there. I bought a new set of shelves for $50. I wish I would have waited till I went to Menards because they had this same shelf for $32 freaking dollars. But I bought this one at Home Depot. Yeah, oh well. It was $50. But it's a nice little wire shelf, and I just organized some stuff on this shelf. And I got that little microwave cart, and I hauled that to the dump this weekend in Troy. It's about 40 minutes away, but they're really cheap to throw stuff off there. And I had to get rid of a couch and some other stuff too. So I got all my buckets gone through and organized. I got my workbench pretty organized. I found my old working on the lawnmower tools. I got some spark plugs and different parts and stuff in here. I have a set of these little things for cleaning out jets and carburetors, and a set of torch tip cleaners. I use those for cleaning out jets. But I just have the 2 generators and that now, and I really never need any work. I mean, that generator, I haven't run it since about this time last year. I got it out and fired up and ran it. I put stable in the fuel. It usually stays good for at least a couple years. And it started right up second pull and ran fine. That thing always runs good. I've had to rebuild the generator head twice, but the motor works great. Worked good since I bought that when Hurricane Ike came through in 2008, I think, something like that. That's when I bought that thing. It's just always worked. I had to put a new fuel line on it, but other than that, it's always worked. But yeah, everything is looking good in here. I'm more organized. I've got everything accounted for, you know, just getting things ready. I also got some 200 psi PVC pipe. Again, this was $5.97 a pipe at Lowe's. I was at Menards today and I just went and priced it $2.59. Menards has like pre-2019 prices. The garden's doing good. I still have the one celebrity transplant kind of covered up to help keep it from wilting back. And it was supposed to rain a lot today, but it didn't really rain that much. So just a little sprinkle. So I'm going to come out here and give the garden a water. My green beans that I planted, the second set I planted, have germinated and come up. And my cucumbers are looking happy, tomatoes are happy, peppers are happy, everything's happy. My spaghetti squash are really growing, and they're getting ready to head out here onto this tarp. And I just covered up the grass with the tarp right here. This is a bad idea because you can breed pests and disease underneath the tarp. I just haven't had that problem with spaghetti squash. And you just cannot get back there to cut the grass anymore. And so the ideal thing would be that you get a sod remover and just remove the grass. I'm too cheap to do that. So I just put a tarp down, or I put 2 tarps down, and I'll let them grow out this way. But everything's looking pretty good. I gotta turn off my electric fence here, because I'm getting ready to go in there and water it. And yeah, everything's doing pretty good. I need to get a little weed eater along the edge right there. I weed eated the rest of them, but I didn't weed eat that one for some reason. I don't know. My onions are officially flowering, so I will be getting some seeds off of those pretty soon. Once they flower and they kind of go to seed and kind of start to dry out, you have to look every day, because you only have a couple days or it drops all the seeds. So you have to get the seeds out of it and put them in a bucket. Then once I collect all the seeds from all the flowers, I'll sieve them. Find a windy day to sieve them, and then I'll have onion seed. But yeah, everything's looking pretty good and healthy here. You see those green beans there in the middle that I had to replant. Those came up, and that's because my burlap was not good enough. It happens. It happens. But they'll be fine. I'll just have some that'll grow beans a little bit later on. It'll be fine. And my Great Northern beans didn't all germinate, but I have enough of them there to get seed, and that's all. Not great. I always say Great Northern because they're a white bean. See, these are Kentucky Wonder. Those are the Blue Lake green beans. But these County Fair cukes on the end are growing like crazy. They're growing like mad. They're gonna put out some cukes. But the national picklers are still trying to play catch up there. And those were planted at the same time in the basement. So that shows you those county fairs are really aggressive. Good cucumbers. Highly resistant to bacterial wilt, to multiple funguses that cause spot diseases. They're just an amazing cucumber. And the national picklers, they usually get bit by the beetles and get the bacterial wilt. But not before I can get a harvest out of them. But I'm just trying these county fairs again this year. The bad thing is they're hybrids, so I have to buy the seed for them. Where the national picklers are an heirloom, so I can reuse the seed. I'd like to find a hybrid that's highly resistant, or an heirloom that's highly resistant, but there just aren't any. They're all hybrids. So, oh well. The seeds don't cost that much. And a pack of seeds will last me a couple of years, and they'll store a long time. So even if you store them for like 5 years and half of them don't germinate, I always start them downstairs, so I'll know, I plant extras, so the ones that don't germinate, I just throw those out and keep the ones that do. But yeah, everything's looking good out here. I cleaned up over here along the fence line this weekend, and I hauled this over to the mulching place. But there's actually a fence back here, believe it or not. I didn't know that. There's an old fence back here, but I cleaned out all of this down through here, and I took a load of firewood over to the mulching place and dumped it off. And I'll have to work on loading my truck up again next week. And some of this wood deep down in here is still good, and my friend camps a lot and he wants good firewood. So as I come across the good pieces, I'm going to throw those off to the side. The dry rotted pieces will go in my truck. But hopefully I can get him a good little amount of burning timber for when he goes camping. And I'll get this cleaned out. Now, I said I was going to put a summer kitchen here. That's probably not a this year project, right? That's probably a next year or the year after project for building my summer kitchen here, just because I have to save up to buy the shed, right? But I still want to get this all cleaned out. I have these old pieces of chimney that are concrete from an old coal burner that used to be in the shed. I am probably just going to dig a big hole and bury those. Rather than, actually I have three. I have that piece, and this piece here. So yeah. Or I have to find some way to haul them out of here. I'll have to bust them up. This is solid concrete. I can't bust that up. These are cinder blocks. I could. So we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. But I'll get this all cleaned up behind here. Number one, I can put a big air conditioner in my garage window for when I'm working on cars this summer. That's the number one thing. All right. Number two is I can get back here and get this trees and stuff cut back from the garage. This tree didn't, if you look on my old gardening videos 4 or 5 years ago, there was no trees here. This is all 5 years of growth. Holy crap. So I need to cut this one down, and I need to get this out of the way because it's leaning towards the garage, so I'm gonna have to cut it and wedge it and lean it out this way and get it down and just get that off of my garage roof, and then I can get up here and get this wood painted on the garage, which needs a paint job. So, and get an air conditioner in and build a summer kitchen. I'm also going to build a little hoop greenhouse, and it's going to go right out here, and it's going to be about 8 or 10 feet long. It's going to be 10-foot cow panels that are arched, and then put greenhouse plastic over it, so that when I'm doing seedlings downstairs, I can grow extras and move them up here into the greenhouse in March and April and let them continue to grow. And then I'm actually going to put them out in my front yard and put them for sale. They want so much for plants now, $6 a piece for Bonnie's plants. I can sell them for $2 a piece and make money. You know, that's just a little extra income. But yeah, so I'll sit down here and we'll talk some more. All right, it's hot out here. I'm sweating. I'm out of Diet 7-Up, so I am having a Diet Mountain Dew. But I just want to talk about like Lowe's and Home Depot. Those stores are going down. They have raised their prices. They have doubled and tripled them. And people are not buying. Like their garden centers this year, they had at Home Depot the other day, the Bonnie's truck had pulled up and it was loading back on all the Bonnie's plants that they couldn't sell. And it was an entire truckload worth, and there was still another truckload to come and get. Because they want $6 a piece for them. I mean, I thought $3 was expensive back in 2019, but $6? No. And I noticed that at Lowe's as well. They just aren't selling any plants. Their garden center is just not busy. All their trees and shrubs and flowers, everything's at least double. Some of it's triple. Nobody's buying. It's just like, there was about a week or 2 weeks ago, they would have been cleaned out of everything. There's just, everything's still there and in stock, and they're not selling it. I went to Menards today. Menards still has pre-2019 prices. It was amazing. They have my pipe that I paid $6 for at Lowe's yesterday. Today I saw it at Menards. If I'd known I was going to go there, I would have waited. I should have. But it was like $2.59. I did not check any plant prices, or I don't know. They have some flowers, but I don't really think they have too many vegetable plants. But the fertilizer, I bought that originally in 2012. And I looked it up because I wrote down all my expenses when I was first doing my Mittlighter garden to figure it out. And it was $8.99 a bag. It's gone up a little bit to $10.47. It's not gone up double or triple, right? everything there was a good price. I found seedling trays. I've been wanting some of the seedling trays without holes in it. They're like a 10-20 tray or whatever that you just use to grow seedlings. And I was looking at some Bob's Farmer site or whatever. Oh, How Happy Gardener told me the name of the place, and I went and looked at their prices like, whoa, holy crap. I'm not buying that. Well, they had them at Menards. Now, they're not as sturdy. They're not as thick of a plastic. But they're thicker than the really cheap ones you buy, like the little seed starting kit ones. They're thicker than that. They're good. They're going to hold up. $2.47 a piece. So I bought 3 of those. I bought one more humidity dome, $2.47. I bought 4 bags of fertilizer. I mean, I bought a lot of stuff, spray bottles and everything. I filled up my cart and it was $82. I'm like, holy crap, it's only $82? This is like old times. And they were busy. I had to wait 25 minutes in a long line just to get to a cashier in the garden center. And they were out of carts in the garden center when I first got there. I had to walk back out to the parking lot and get a cart and come in. There were just people just turning over, like turning and burning people. I mean, and they were buying massive amounts of stuff like mulch and topsoil and stuff. So those people are still gardening, I guess. They're just not going to Lowe's or Home Depot anymore, and I don't blame them. So, like I said, I'm going to raise extra plants next year. If I decide not to sell them or I can't sell them, I'll take them to work and give them away to people. Or, you know, put them in the front yard with a sign that says free on them. But I really like growing seedlings. I want to do a little greenhouse. So I'm going to do a little greenhouse for my seedlings. And I'll probably get to building that like sometime this fall. I won't do that right now because I'm busy. I'm getting ready to extend my watering system. So I'm going to do videos on that whole project. But yeah, it's been a lots of fun. This has been a full weekend. Next weekend's going to be full, and I got to go back to work tomorrow and do my boring computer job and make my paycheck, and then I get to come back and get to come home at night and do some gardening, I guess. So, just a fun time of the year. Anyway, I'll talk to you all later. This is Tom, your Frugal Prepper. Alright, so I'm going to show you my little weeding tool. I'll put a link to this down below. You can get them on Amazon. I actually have 2 of these. But this is really handy for like getting around plants. And it just kind of cuts them off real easy and quick. And it will get rid of the weeds. This is a piece of thistle. I have to take it out of there for now. Some of these really close ones, you just want to pick them. But here's a piece of thistle. You can cut that off. That's a little stick bush that I have to just pick off. And see, these are really too close. So we'll just have to pick those down. There's some grass growing here. Pick that one. Grass out of here. There's another piece of grass really close to that one. There we go. Weeding is done for that bed. So that's how you get around stuff that's really close. Now let me show you what we do for our large beds. So what I do is once in a while I just come out here and run my 2-way hoe. It'll kill all the weeds. Just that fast, and it's weeded. Now, your key here is to just do it often, right? So every week I just run my two-way hose right here. But you only have to do this until the plants grow up and get big. Once they're big, they'll shade out the weeds and the weeds won't grow. And by doing it when they're still young, you catch them just after they germinate and it kills them. Except for things like grass. Grass will just keep coming up. Alright, and we have to weed in between them here. Weed over here. We have to weed in between from this direction. There we go. So that's really all we have to do to weed in the mid-lighter gardening method. It's just that quick. Oh, I missed a one. Let me grab him. There we go. That's all we got to do. And the bed's weeded. So it's really easy, this method, because you have everything planted where you can reach it from both sides. You can get to it. You can just use a stirrup hoe. I'll put a link to this hoe down below. This is not like the cheap stirrup hose you get at Home Depot. They break. Go doll. This one is, there's an Amazon link to it. But this is the Kenyan two-way hoe. And it's good for all kinds of stuff. Alright. I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom, your Frugal Prepper.